Hey everyone, Kyle once again, and welcome back to another movie review. Well, since the recent passing of Carl Weathers, rest in peace to him. Everyone knows from Apollo Creed or from Predator or his recent role in The Mandalorian or Happy Gilmore, right? But I want you to talk about a movie that probably no one probably hasn't heard of or just forgotten, And it's from 1988, and it's an action film that I don't know. You say it's not. Well, when I first saw this back then, some time ago, I'm like, was this like? I thought to myself, is this like a parody of action films? Because there's a lot of actors in here from past action films, like from the 80s, are in this, Probably as a nod to action from 80s action films, but it's one of the few times that Carl Weathers, ever gets to play the lead, And I could tell that they wanted this to be a franchise, but it made some of a profit though, and also made a huge impact on home video, when it came out. But sadly never got to be a franchise though, which I would like to have seen though. So this is from 1988 of the action film of Action Jackson. So yeah, Action Jackson from 1988 stars Carl Weathers once again. Rest in peace, Carl Weathers. Rest in peace. And I thought watching it again, I've said a couple times from before, afterwards when I first watched it though. But I had fun with the movie. And I decided to say I would like to have seen a franchise of this, and Action Jackson 2 or 3, even a trilogy. And I think Carl Weathers was a lot of fun in this, as Jericho Action Jackson, he plays as a cop from Detroit. And other cast members, you have Craig T. Nelson. Craig T. Nelson, I remember from Poltergeist, of course, the comedy or the romantic comedy of The Proposal with Sandra Bullock and Ryan Reynolds. He was Ryan Reynolds' father. Of course, Mr. Incredible from The Incredibles. Among many movies, I like Craig T. Nelson as an actor, and he's the bad guy in this movie, and I think he did a good job too. You got singer Vanity right there, which also says she's now passed on. She passed on like about 2016 or so. That's sadly she's passed away though. Which she worked with singer Prince, was her band Vanity 6, but she worked with Prince. And I thought she did fine in this. Of course, she's also a singer in this, and she's also a heroin addict, which I'm like, for someone who did a drug like heroin in this movie, she looked perfectly damn good. Like right there, or even the back here when she's singing, she looks pretty good for a heroin addict, And also then we got Sharon Stone. Sharon Stone, who plays Craig T. Nelson's wife. And you got a lot of recognizable actors in this movie as well, because also supporting cast members. You have Thomas F. Wilson, known for playing Biff from Back to the Future. And I also remember him. He was also in The Lost World, Jurassic Park, the second film. He was the guy. If you know him in that one, he's the guy. He had the cowboy hats, the long hair, and beard and glasses. Right. He was hiding in the waterfall behind the waterfall with Vince Vaughn and Julianne Moore, and he had the snake go into his shirt, and he panics and gets eaten by the T-Rex. His blood in the waterfall. That was Thomas F. Wilson. And among a lot of recognizable actors as well, because as I said, it's supposed to be like nod to like from the actors from those 80s action movies, I mean, the police captain, the police captain, you have is Bill Duke, which he also worked with Carl Weathers in Predator before this, and also among another Predator cast member, you have Sonny Landham. He's Sonny Landham, Billy from Predator. He's a bad guy. This when he gets into a fight. He gets into a fight with Carl Weathers. So you got like a Predator reunion, with him and Bill Duke, and then him and Sonny Landham, and he fights with Sonny Landham. Toss him to one building to another through a window. So that was that was fun too. So yeah, nice Predator reunion. This, among other ones, you have Edo Ross, who was the bad guy from Red Heat with Arnold Schwarzenegger and Jim Belushi. You have Mary Ellen Trainor, who's the mother from The Goonies. And other actors from other action films. You have Brian Libby, who played John Kirby from the Chuck Norris movie Silent Rage. You have Miguel Unez Jr. from Return of the Living Dead, Leprechaun 4 in Space, Scooby-Doo, and Friday the 13th Part 5, The New Beginning. With those damn enchiladas! or Carnosaur 2 as well. And also because he's one of the three guys that Action Jackson gets into a fight with in a pool room, Yeah, Miguel Unez Jr. and this other one black guy that, which I also recognize because he was also in Commando. He was the one guy that Arnold, on the plane, he snaps his neck and Arnold goes and says, "Oh, please don't disturb my friend. He's dead tired." That guy. And you also have I don't know the guy's name, but I recognize him. He was also in Die Hard. He was in Die Hard. He was the one that was monitoring the front desk, right? And talking with Virgil Vale Johnson. It's like, "Oh, I got $50 in those assholes." Or of course, at the end when Bruce Willis shoots Hans Gruber first, and he shoots him in the head second because he only had 2 bullets. So yeah, that guy from Die Hard who was monitoring the front desk, you say, and also you have Al Leong, which I always recognize him from Big Trouble in China. He was the Wing Kong guy from who had the cleaver, or torturing Mel Gibson in the first Lethal Weapon. Showdown. I remember. Recognize him. He has the long hair with the long goatee. Saw him a little bit in Showdown Little Tokyo, or the opening of Godzilla 1998. He was on the very start of the movie when Godzilla attacked the ship. Al Leong, and also in Die Hard as well. Because I forget Die Hard, because I mentioned Die Hard. He was also in that too. He was eating the candy bars, and when he was on the roof of the hostages, he was going back down. McClane shoots him. So you get a lot of recognizable actors from all these action films from the 90s, 90s, 80s. Or another guy, I think it was a guy named James Liu. Was because I think if I remember correctly, he was in Time Cop with Van Damme, who fought him in his apartment. So you get a lot of recognizable faces from these from action films of this time. So, well, Time Cop was 94, but still. So you got a lot of recognizable faces from these action films in this as well, and also as I mentioned, Robert Davi. Another recognizable actor. I really like. I like Robert Davi. He of course he was also once again Die Hard. He was one of the Agent Johnson. So and Robert Davi also minor role in Predator 2. He starred in the sequels of the Maniac Cop movies 2 and 3. Of course, he was in Showgirls as well. But I like Robert Davi. Another good actor. So, a lot of recognizable actors in this movie. Like I said, it's supposed to be the actors who starred in the action films of the 80s. A lot of recognizable actors. And also, it's produced by Joel Silver, who did help work with the action films like Lethal Weapon and Last Boy Scout, and I think because I think Carl Weathers talked with producer Joel Silver, I think. Carl Weathers' quote said, "A creation that came about when I was doing Predator and talking to Joel Silver, who loved blaxploitation movies." Joel Silver said, "Well, why don't you put something together?" So during that time of shooting down in Imperial Voltura, I guess we're doing Predator, I created this story and came up with this guy, or at least this title, Action Jackson. And Joel found a writer who wrote the screenplay, and that was it. We got it made. So I guess it was just an idea they came up with on the fly while making Predator, and this came up with. So, but yeah, and like I said, it's supposed to be. You think it's supposed to be like a satire or a parody of action, though. But watch it again. It's you can say it's a lot of goofy, or you can say cheesy. But I thought it was just a very fun movie, you know. And like I said, he's Carl Weathers. He's a cop from Detroit, and just like how the opening, like how this couple, which Mary Ellen Trader and Edo Ross, right? They get attacked, and like Mary Ellen Trader gets like, I think she got like tossed to like a puncher, tossed a window, and then Edo Ross. I was about to say Ed O'Neill. No, not that Ed O'Neill. No. Although it would have been funny to see Al Bundy in that though. But Edo Ross from Red Heat, he gets like tossed, you know, set on fire and through one building down one floor to another, you know, and you get the open title, Action Jackson, with the Vanity singing, right? I will say a couple of nitpicks though. I didn't really listen to a whole lot of Vanity. I don't think I remember listening to any of her songs though. To me, I rather listen to Prince because I enjoy Prince more, you know, from of course 1999, Raspberry Beret, Little Red Corvette, or Purple Rain, or his songs from Batman, you know, Party Man or Trust. I love Prince, you know, rest in peace to him too. I just never listened to a lot of Vanity though. And then of course with the thing with Craig T. Nelson, because you know Action Jackson went after his son, you know, and Bill Duke as the police captain. You got a funny line where he talks to Carl Weathers like, you could have tore that boy's arm off, and then Carl Weathers says, well, he had a spare. So that was funny. Or there was this kid, you know, who was, I think was in the group though, of the bad guy group. You know, he's really scared, you know, and he's really scared when he takes to the police station. He's scared though, but then when he sees Action Jackson, he faints. And before he faints, Carl Weathers says, "Mellow out," and then he faints. Yeah, you think it's supposed to be like, you know, like a parody or satire of action films, but like in the vein of other stuff like Loaded Weapon 1 or Naked Gun though, which I enjoy both those movies a lot. Naked Gun I enjoy, Leslie Nielsen, and Loaded Weapon 1 with Emilio Estevez and Sam Jackson. Great comedy action movies as well. But with Craig T. Nelson, he's this guy. He's just like this businessman. He's a, we can say, tycoon. You can say, dealing with auto stuff. And a lot of the action, so it has a lot of good action and fist fights, explosions, fun firefights, or good fire stunts, I would say. And also you're good seeing a lot of good practical blood squibs. You know, when people are getting shot at, you know, always love seeing practical blood squibs because it just, you know, I just hate when they do it nowadays. It's all CGI. It looks fake, cheap as hell. It just takes out of it, you know, and you can't get more real than real, like just doing actual blood squibs because it's physically there, you see it, you know. So it's always appreciated seeing real blood squibs, and this is just a lot of good fun fight scenes, you know, like I mentioned before, like with the Carl Weathers fighting with Sonny Landham, or gets in the pool for the pool room, you know, fight with Miguel Unez Jr. or the guy from Commando, or the guy what was the thing it was James Liu, the guy from later starring Time Cop. Just like good fisticuffs and fist fights and a lot of fun action, you know. Although I would say, though, there is action the first, like, half of the movie, though, but a lot of it, the Action Jackson himself doesn't do till later. That's another nitpick I have. I mean, does a couple of stuff though, but he doesn't really do much of of action himself though. Like for like the first half of the movie. So that's another nitpick I have with it though. But regardless though, I mean, still got like plenty of funny lines, you know, and well, of course, nowadays there was a line between because when Carl Weathers was talking to Vanity, of course they in dialogue mentioned the weird word queer, you know, and I'm like, if you say that line, the exchange nowadays in a film like this, that shit would get censored as hell. People have a freaking shit fit about it. Especially in the PC world we live in. Of course, we mentioned of that word queer. Yes, that shit would get censored and cut down. I guarantee it because that's how stupid the PC is nowadays. Especially in Hollywood now. Oh, you can't use that word. Well, you got way back and then. No one make a big deal about it because it's not how it is nowadays. Especially with all the whole, you know, gay or transgender and all that bullshit, you know. Oh, you can't say the word. It's too offensive. Bullshit, okay? So, yeah, but the funny thing is, like, even a gift that she got, you know, it was like, oh, it's another needle of drugs. So, or the moment where, you know, talking Thomas F. Wilson, bit from Back to the Future, you know, explain the stories about Action Jackson, but also one of the funny thing is with Craig T. Nelson as the main bad guy, as the bad guy, he's like this karate martial arts master. I'm like, I don't buy Craig T. Nelson. You seen Craig T. Nelson, you don't buy him as a martial arts master. I mean, yeah, the guy who stars in Poltergeist and later in The Proposal, or voices Mr. Incredible. Yeah, I really see him as a martial arts, kung fu or whatever master, you know. So, and also, hey, if you want to look for a piece of eye candy, you do see some titties, you know. Like you clearly see Vanity's titties, you know, or in a little bit of Sharon Stone's. You know, so it's a little piece of eye candy right there as well. And speaking with Sharon Stone later on, you know, when his Sharon Stone's husband, Craig T. Nelson, kills her, you know, does he even bat an eye about it, you know, and just being cold about it is like, oh, it works, so okay, yeah, so he's just being that cold, you know, just not even a blink, you know, that batting an eye that he killed his own wife. And Vanity, I mentioned that he's Craig T. Nelson's mistress. And like I said, lots of good fun fights and explosions as well, you know. And until me when what was it with the flame when Carl Weathers dealing with a flamethrower to one bad guy, is like, you know, how do you like your ribs? So you get some fun lines from Carl Weathers. And until the point ultimately when he fights Carl Weathers, Carl Weathers fights Craig T. Nelson. Again, like I said, I just find it very silly just seeing Craig T. Nelson just doing martial arts, which I don't buy him at all, you know. But we see him do martial arts, and when he hits Carl Weathers and the thing in the face, does like a kick to the face, and Carl Weathers goes and says, "Now you piss me off," and just beats the shit out of Craig T. Nelson. Lots of good practical blood squibs as well. So, but yeah. And then after that, just like, you know, I just wish that I would like to have seen a trilogy to this, you know. You know, it's just, you know, sadly some things that they try to do a franchise and they fail, but this film ultimately did not fail. It did make some money though, but because it wasn't that huge enough big of a hit to be a franchise though. I mean, like, look at Remo Williams, you know, with Fred Ward, you know. You get the director of James Bond, Dr. No, right, to do that. Fred Ward, which rest in peace to him, I really enjoy as an actor. Try to make it their own like iconic action hero like this, right? And that tried to be a franchise, and sadly that failed though. So, which I like. I would like to see more Fred Ward, you know, as Remo Williams, I really like Carl Weathers as the Action Jackson. I would like to have seen Action Jackson, Remo Williams to be like a franchise, right? But sadly, they didn't. You know, that's a sad case. You know, and I thought that the director, Craig R. Baxley, I thought he did a good job with this movie. Of course, this was his debut, and he would later go on to direct films like Stone Cold with Brian Bosworth. Fun movie. And I Come in Peace with Dolph Lundgren. That's a great Dolph Lundgren movie. Great Dolph Lundgren film. I Come in Peace. Really love that one. One of Dolph Lundgren's best movies, to me. And then he will later on go and direct television series. You know, like he directed the miniseries to Stephen King's Rose Red, which that's a series that my girlfriend really enjoys. Stephen King's Rose Red. And he also go on to direct of the sci-fi miniseries The Triangle from 2005 or 4, I think. Of course, The Triangle would start a hell of a cast like Eric Stoltz, Lou Diamond Phillips, Charles Martin Smith, and Sam Neill. Of course, back then when that was released on Sci-Fi, and back then when Sci-Fi had the Saturn, the planet Saturn. That logo in Sci-Fi next to it, you know, back then when it was that type of Sci-Fi channel. Not the Sci-Fi with just those SYFY logo on there, no. I never cared for that logo of that. I always liked the whole, the planet in the Sci-Fi where it was spelled SCI-FI. That type of that logo for Sci-Fi. But he directed that miniseries of The Triangle. So I think he did a good job with this movie, you know, and the music. I think the music was there. It wasn't great overall though, because you have two people who did the music: Herbie Hancock and Michael Kamen. Now Michael Kamen, he would do the scores for the Lethal Weapon movies, even the first 3 Die Hard movies, and The Last Boy Scout. So I guess he had a hand in doing the score though, but I think this one, part of me felt like am I hearing like a type of score that was from Lethal Weapon, you know, more. But I think this music was alright, average. So yeah, Action Jackson. I had fun with the movie. It's sad to say we're never going to see much of Carl Weathers, you know, doing much in lead roles like this, you know. And this has no features, or this film is not even on Blu-ray, I don't think either. Because it shows how this one's forgotten about. I mean, if people have not seen this film, and anyone who's a fan of Carl Weathers, I mean, if people think of Carl Weathers, they would just go straight out watching any of the first 4 Rocky movies, or Predator, Happy Gilmore, or his role in the Mandalorian series. But I think people like slept on this movie and or this under the radar. People just don't remember this movie or forgot about it. But if you haven't seen this movie, if you're a fan of Carl Weathers, I recommend you check out Action Jackson. It's a very fun movie. Carl Weathers, rest in peace. He was very fun in the role as Action Jackson. Craig T. Nelson, I thought he was a fun bad guy. Vanity, I thought, except for heroin addict, she looks pretty good for a heroin addict. But I thought she did fine in this. Sharon Stone, you know, she was, I guess I'll say alright, I guess. I mean, nice to see all these actors from the action movies of the 80s, like Al Leong, or Brian Libby, Anna Ross, Robert Davi, it was nice to see him. Bill Duke, Sonny Landham, Predator reunion. And all the other ones I said before from other action movies as well. But yeah, it's too bad this never got a franchise, sad to say. And it's only about 96 minutes minus end credits. Fast-paced movie. I thought it was very well paced. Good action, good sense of humor. So yeah, and rest in peace to Carl Weathers. So that's my review of Action Jackson. Thanks for watching. Stay tuned. And I'll see you on the next review. Later.